What's up guys, welcome to Palate. My name is Brian and I used to own a gourmet food truck back in the heyday of street food. I worked in the food service industry for over 20 years and I've been cooking for my family for the past 5. My purpose is to help you create restaurant quality meals in your very own kitchen. Today I'm going to show you how to prepare lovely pork chops in red wine sauce. Let's get cooking.
Alright guys, here we are with our 2 pounds worth of pork chops. And yes, it seriously does look like I'm spinning turntables at your favorite local downtown club on a Friday night. Just kidding. But that's avocado oil. You get a nice coat, a nice barrier there. Adding some sea salt, freshly ground black pepper. And we season that on all sides. Here we are with our flavor components. Anjou pear mushrooms to saute, chicken stock, we'll be needing a little more avocado oil, and some great tasting red wine. This one's a local Pinot Noir. Now we fire up our burner, add a frying pan. In this case I have a cast iron skillet, adding a little bit of that avocado oil, waiting for that to heat up real nicely. Avocado oil has a high smoking point of about 520 degrees Fahrenheit. And that caramelization is looking real good. We're searing all sides so we have a nice even browning. As you've noticed, I added the 2nd pound of pork chops to the skillet. My cast iron wasn't big enough to accommodate. But as you will see later, after both have shrunk in size after some searing, they will both fit nicely. So here we are setting aside our pork chops, making way for some sauce making. That's our shallots. We've added a head of garlic to our pan. Tomato paste, or you could use tomato puree. Definitely will give our dish some body. Garlic, rosemary, and thyme, one of my favorite combinations of aromatics. And we saute that up real nicely. Now we're adding some wine for some acidity. This will help tenderize the exterior of our pork chops. I use Pinot Noir, by the way. You can use any other red wine. I'm really curious how maybe a port wine would taste, but Pinot Noir will do here. Adding now our 2 pounds worth of pork chops, some chicken stock, bring that up to a boil, and taste our sauce. It may need some salt and pepper, so add that to taste. Adding this to a preheated 400 degrees Fahrenheit oven for approximately 12 minutes. Now we move on to sauteing our mushrooms and Anjou or d'Anjou pear. First we add our mushrooms. Of course we've added some more of that avocado oil.
The important note here is that we don't want to extract too much water content from our mushrooms. So we saute them enough so that they're cooked while still being nice and juicy at every bite. As you see, we've added some sliced d'anjou. That's 1 pear's worth of this lovely sweet fruit. And we're just getting that to warm up a little bit and slightly cook on the outside to get a little color. All right, now our oven's timer has sounded off and we have probed our pork chop and we're looking close to 140 degrees. That'll cook further after you take it out. Allow it to rest for about 5 minutes. And look at that. We've plated it up and looks delish, guys.
All right, guys, we are at the end of our video. It is taste test time. And I'm not gonna lie, this is the next day. Last night, I couldn't go any further after eating. I had a lovely dinner with my 2 daughters and my wife, and while it was delicious, we filled our stomachs to the point where after all of the prep and just a long day, we decided to call it a night and let our pork chops in wine sauce rest in the fridge and maybe even get some of those flavor molecules forming while we are fast asleep. So we're gonna give it a shot. I just warmed it up and I'm just gonna get right into it. First, we're gonna have a little bite or just a little slice of the pork chops by themselves. Of course, get the juices, that wine sauce on both sides. Oh, so drip in there a little bit and yummy. It's delicious, guys. You really gotta try this recipe. It's so crazy good. And my wife was pleasantly surprised that it wasn't overcooked because it tends to dry out when it's overcooked. So, right to 135, and then, the carryover cooking will raise that up temperature up to 140 degrees, so you're good to go. We're gonna go right into a well-rounded bite now. And what that means is I'm going to have everything in one bite. The pork chops and red wine sauce, sauteed mushroom. The sauteed mushrooms, I sauteed it to a point where I sauteed it enough to cook it, but retain some of that water, that moisture that I think something like a pork chop, like I said, that tends to get dry. If we can add more juice, it just would taste so much better. So let's do that first. We're going to do the mushroom, the meat, and then the d'anjou, I believe I'm pronouncing it right, pear. Okay, sauteed that too, as you saw, alongside the mushrooms, and they are sweet. They are so sweet, so it's a great contrast, So I'm gonna go ahead and give this a try, and I will tell you what I think. That's amazing. Sweetness right off the bat was that, as well as it's so juicy. And that flavor is so distinctive with that wine, is just incredible. You really can just use any kind of red wine. Another thing I did differently from, I'd say, maybe other recipes that I've read in other videos that do the same dish or something maybe similar to it, is I wanted to make sure that I have that very classic herby flavors, those aromatics of these three: garlic, rosemary, and thyme. Those three are so solid. So along with those other flavors that we're forming, it all really comes together nicely with those three blended flavors. This is my personal recipe, and you gotta try it. So please, when you do try it, drop a message in the comment section below. And thanks again for watching another video of Palate. For those of you who are watching for the first time and want to see more videos, I come out with one every single week. And you do want to see more, please like, subscribe. There's a notification bell as well, so every time we come out with one, you'll get a little notification letting you know that we've come out with a new video. We will see you next time, guys. You guys take care. All right, guys, we're at the taste test part of our video. We're wrapping it up. Also some, I want to say Anjou, Bartlett. Okay, guys, so if you haven't done so already, please like and subscribe. Also,